You hear the term billionaire thrown around all the time, right? But the numbers are so huge they just don't feel real. So what if we could actually make it tangible? In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that kind of extreme wealth looks like, and maybe more importantly, how it actually works, by looking at three totally distinct levels of the super rich.
Okay, let's start with a number we can all wrap our heads around. $1 million. For a lot of people, that's the dream, the big goal. But the world we're diving into today,
it starts right here, at 100 million. And trust me, this isn't just about having more money. This is where the entire rule book gets thrown out the window.
and then there's this. $100 billion. A fortune so insane, so massive, that only about a dozen or so people on the entire planet have it. The difference between these levels isn't just about buying a bigger yacht. It's about a complete transformation of power itself.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the lifestyle of a centi-millionaire. Then we'll level up and look at the billionaire's playbook for actually shaping the world. After that, we'll hit the final tier, the reality-bending power of a hecto-billionaire. And finally, we'll talk about why this whole system impacts every single one of us.
All right, let's meet our first guy, Scott. Imagine he just sold his super successful candy company, and now he's sitting on a net worth of a cool $100 million. Most of it's in stocks, but he wants to live that amazing life right now. So, how does he get his hands on the cash?
And here's the puzzle at the heart of it all. See, if Scott just sells his stocks to get cash, he's going to get slammed with a massive tax bill. So how do the ultra-wealthy fund their lives without giving a huge chunk of it away? Well, they have a secret.
The answer is actually pretty simple, and it's kind of genius. They don't sell. Instead of cashing out their assets and paying taxes on the gains, they go to a bank and use their entire portfolio as collateral for a loan. And here's the kicker. Because a loan is considered debt, not income, the cash they get is 100% tax-free.
This creates this incredible financial engine called the wealth loop. It's simple. Step 1, you hold on to assets that are going up in value. Step 2, you borrow against them to get that tax-free cash for your lifestyle. And step 3, and this is the magic part, your assets grow faster than the interest on your loan, which means you're literally getting richer even while you're borrowing millions. Just look at the math here. Let's say Scott pays about 5.9% interest on his loan. That seems like a lot, right? But his portfolio is growing at an average of 10% a year. His wealth is literally outrunning his debt. This tax-free loan isn't some side hustle, it's the engine that powers his entire life. And man, what a life it is. We're talking an $8.5 million apartment in Manhattan, chartering private jets whenever he wants to travel, and a full-time staff of 18 people. He's got a $6 million, get this, entry-level yacht. He can even donate almost $1 million to get access to politicians. But notice that word, access. He's not buying influence just yet. At this level, it's all about living a life of pure luxury, not controlling the system.
Okay, let's level up. Big time. Meet Javier. He made an early investment in some tech startup, and it exploded. His net worth is now $1 billion. Now, he uses the same financial tools as Scott, but the scale and the ambition. They're on a totally different planet.
Because once you hit the billion-dollar mark, the focus changes completely. It's not just about enjoying your wealth anymore. Oh no, it's about using that wealth to actively shape the world around you, especially the political world.
The jump in scale here is just wild. Scott has a couple of nice homes. Javier owns 7 massive mansions all over the globe. Scott charters jets. Javier owns his own $75 million private jet. But the biggest difference? Scott's hobby is a yacht. Javier's hobby is an entire NBA basketball team.
And owning a team isn't just for fun. It is an incredible financial tool. See, thanks to a loophole, he can claim his players are depreciating assets, kind of like machinery in a factory. And he can use the team's losses to slash his own tax bill. It's a hobby that literally pays for itself in tax savings.
This is where you see the direct purchase of power. Javier donates $20 million to a senator's campaign. A little while later, he calls in a favor. The senator slips just 8 specific words into a giant piece of legislation, and boom, Javier saves hundreds of millions in taxes. That $20 million donation, it was one of the best investments he ever made.
And now we reach the final ascent. Meet Bradley, the hecto-billionaire. Net worth, $100 billion. At this level, money isn't just about lifestyle or influence anymore. It becomes a force that can literally bend reality. This is the true endgame. This is an amount of money that lets you operate on a scale bigger than most countries. You can buy the entire digital town square, build your own doomsday bunkers for the apocalypse, and even fund projects that try to stop human aging.
I mean, just look at the final leap. Javier owns a private jet. Bradley owns an entire fleet, including a custom jumbo jet that's worth over $360 million. Javier buys political favors. Bradley just buys the entire media platform. And while Javier might have a bunker, Bradley maintains multiple, fully staffed doomsday compounds all over the world.
It all leads to the ultimate strategy for keeping wealth in the family forever: buy, borrow, die. You buy and hold assets that grow in value, you borrow against them, tax-free, to fund your life, and then, when you die, your kids inherit everything. And because of a rule called a stepped-up basis, the tax bill on all those decades of growth is just, poof, gone, wiped completely clean. It's a perfect financial reset.
And what do you do with all that borrowed tax-free money? Well, you can spend millions to have your favorite band play a private show just for you and your friends. It's a level of spending that is so extreme it's almost hard to comprehend, but it's totally real at the very, very top.
So, after all that, why does any of this matter? Well, because this isn't just about a few people spending lavishly. It's about a carefully built financial fortress, a system designed to protect and grow this immense wealth, totally separate from the rules that you and I live by.
So let's just recap the core pieces of that system. First, wealth is used as collateral, so it's never counted as income. Second, debt is turned into tax-free cash. Third, hobbies and even charity are used as powerful tax shelters. And finally, all that money is used to buy the political influence you need to make sure the system protects itself.
And that really brings us to the most important takeaway. This system isn't broken. It's actually working exactly as it was designed to. It's a feedback loop. The wealth builds a fortress, and then the power from that fortress is used to reinforce the walls, making it stronger and pretty much untouchable. And that leaves us with one final and pretty critical question to think about. When a system allows a very small number of people to build such an